In our AdRec project SUGER, we have developed and demonstrated a novel sensor concept which aims to revolutionize the performance of near-infrared imaging and gamma ray detection. Since October 2020, we have managed to complete two types of proof-of-concept sensors. First, we have finished the fabrication of the complete new type of germanium-based infrared photodiodes, which are based on highly absorbing nanostructures and a novel junction that is free of defects. In these detectors, we have already achieved excellent electrical characteristics. Characterization of the infrared response is ongoing. Second, in ultraviolet photodiodes, we have achieved more than 130% external quantum efficiency without any external bias, which is higher sensitivity than anyone has reported before. Collaboration with our industrial partners has continued active, and since last fall, we have integrated our innovative technologies such as induced junction and atomic layer deposition-based surface passivation to commercial gamma ray and alpha particle detectors. Our innovations lower the fabrication costs of such detectors and improve their resolution. We have also integrated our novel nanostructures to high-purity germanium infrared sensors and succeeded in absorbing more than 99% of the infrared radiation. The next steps include upscaling of our technology and pushing its boundaries further. We are also investigating other applications where our innovations could be utilized. For instance, we have planned joint experiments with another AdRec project team from Open University, where we will integrate our innovations to commercial CMOS cameras. Additionally, we will broaden our research to, for instance, germanium on silicon applications, which allows to combine germanium-based sensing with silicon electronics.
Hi, this is Photonics, and we are reporting on our project titled Single Pixel Thermal Camera based on liquid crystal resonant structures, named SPT-CAM. Our main objective was to demonstrate a single pixel infrared or thermal camera based on a resonant liquid crystal layer. And this will be done using two main modes. One is by combining an infrared or thermal responsive layer, such as a semiconductor, with the liquid crystal, or using the high thermo-optic coefficient of liquid crystals and enhancing it using the resonant structure. So in this figure here, we can see the main device, which is composed of two glass substrates, and one of them is coated with the IR or thermal responsive layer. And of course, there are additional layers like transparent electrode, alignment layer, and thin film layers for the resonant structure, and of course the LC layer. This whole device can be less than 1 centimeter, and when combined with, in order to read the information, we use LED, and that has to be done. It can be done without polarizers, like cross polarizers, but here we introduce a polarizing beam splitter, which will give us the mode of operation using cross polarizers. And if we want to look at the image with the visible light, we simply use a CMOS silicon camera, standard camera, or we can simply look at the image using our own eyes. So the whole device can be, I'll say, Google, maybe less than 1 centimeter thick, If we combine it with a camera, it can be depending on the size of the camera that we use, but it can be less than 5 centimeters or 50 millimeters. Here we show one example, but there are many like those and videos as well, showing in the EU letter written with the infrared and red with a green light. So far we have demonstrated a contrast ratio of 70:1. We also progressed in thermal imaging using single liquid crystal layer based on a blue phase liquid crystal, which is already resonant because it exhibits what's called selective reflection peak, and it's highly sensitive to the temperature. So by shining infrared light on it, the temperature variations of the written image will be read with the visible light. We also have some preliminary results using porous silicon photonic crystal infiltrated with a liquid crystal layer, and it shows resonant peaks. These resonance peaks are sensitive to the temperature variations. We did a lot of experiments also using other resonant structures like Fabry-Perot type, guided mode resonance, and how to produce them so that they become uniform and in cost-effective manner, like glass etching, lithography, and so on. We have a lot of designs for photonic structures that contain liquid crystal and can give a highly sensitive response, including color images. We also experimented with a variety of IR responsive layers, such as vanadium oxide and pyroelectric and other semiconductor layers. The technology can be easily scaled up, no problem with that, because it relies on existing technologies like the LCD industry, the semiconductor industry, and the thin film coatings industry. So all these industries are well established. They produce in large areas, either in wafer scale or in display panel area. So we can produce in large area, then cut it into small pieces, which will allow us getting so many pieces out of one wafer or one display pattern panel, so giving us lower price. Once we have the process of producing in mass production, of course, we will go to marketing, choosing vendors. That depends. For the LCD, there are many of them, of course, such as Philips used to do it, Veritronic, Thomson, and many others. Depending on the mode which will be used, we will choose the vendor. For example, if the IR responsive layer is a semiconductor, then we will use a vendor from this industry. If it's volumetric layer, we will choose accordingly, and so on. There are many of them even in the EU. Because it's single pixel, it has two main advantages. And the production is easy. You can produce single layers in large area with thin films coatings or other crystal growth and so on. And having it in a single pixel, you can have large area cameras in a cost-effective price. So this is a big advantage over existing pixelated infrared cameras, of course. Applications range from medical, security, safety, inspection, remote sensing, night vision, autonomous cars, food inspection, and inspection of industrial processes. There are some of these are more hot topics like autonomous cars. Could be in camera or Google format to see through fog, for example, to see at night. The same with night vision in camera or Google format can be used in security, homeland security, safety or military applications. We can also demonstrate some of these applications easily, and then depending on the market and whether we find a strategic partner, we can focus on that specific application. After a few years of work with a few millions of euros we hope to receive, we might be in a need for additional funding depending on the status of the company. However, our plan is first to develop at least 2 products such as the SWIR, the mid-IR or 1 and the LWIR range, the long-wave IR, demonstrating them, perhaps demonstrating applications, developing the mass production process with one of the vendors mentioned before, and then doing marketing and generating sales. So after 2 years of work, we believe we will be in a good position to decide whether we need additional funding or not. Maybe we can find a strategic partner, for example, from the autonomous car industry, who are interested in producing for them, according to their needs, that specific camera, and they will be buying it in large quantities. Hopefully, the same can be done with medical industry and so on. So we think that there is a great potential after demonstrating a product and showing some applications. We think that finding investors is relatively an easy task. Of course, we will do marketing in a variety of ways, dissemination of results, demonstrating in conferences and exhibitions, and advertising in electronic media, newsletters, and so on.
Hello, my name is Ourania Sidiropoulou, and I'm going to present you the ultra-high-level radiation monitoring within metal nanolayers, the NanoRadMet project. This project was initiated by the needs of IRAD, the proton irradiation facility at CERN, where beam profile monitors, BPMs, are used to image in real time the 24 GeV high-energy proton beam during radiation experiments. The previous BPM devices, based on the standard flexible PCB technology, were suffering from several drawbacks. This motivated the development of BPMs based on microfabricated thin-film metal nanolayers. Thin aluminum layers, more than 15 nanometer thick, were chosen as the best sensing material for secondary electron emission in air. Depositing aluminum on 25 micron thick Kapton substrates allows to engineer new BPM devices, which were successfully tested in autumn 2020 with 200 MeV electrons in the CLEAR facility at CERN. Concerning the current status of the project, the electron beam evaporation was proven to be more reliable than sputtering, and the best secondary electron emission in air was achieved with a single aluminum layer without any extra coating, as shown in the figure. With this deposition technique, we optimized the microfabrication process and started the mass production with a very good yield. The new BPMs mounted on their support PCB are shown in the insert of the figure. Currently, we are developing BPMs with an even larger active area covering wider beam cross-sections for the needs of IRAD. The design of these devices is also shown in the insert of the figure. The connection of the sensor to the support PCB with various wire bonding processes was not successful. The electrical connection is now realized with a conductive glue, and we are currently looking for alternative interconnection technologies. Moreover, the prospect to fabricate this kind of devices on new, innovative nanometer polymeric substrates is also foreseen. To scale up the technology in order to become an industrial product or system, first of all, we would like to mention that during Attract Phase 1, we have established a fruitful collaboration with the RadFOS project team, who are investigating dosimetry sensors based on fiber optics. For Phase 2, the idea is to couple our sensor with their in order to provide complementary features for radiation measurements. Nevertheless, we need to integrate the NanoRadMet sensor to an optimized DAQ to achieve a portable system that will be compact and with a user-friendly interface to control it remotely, as the current existing DAQ fits only the CERN hardware infrastructure. To scale up the technology, we need to partner first of all with a microfabrication laboratory that provides the suitable equipment and the cleanroom conditions needed for the realization of the sensors. Second, we need to partner with companies that can eventually provide an alternative interconnection technology. And last but not least, an electronic and software expertise to build a functional and friendly interface for the end user. The NanoRadMet sensor can be applied wherever a particle beam is needed to be controlled. As direct application, the BPMs can be found useful in other beam lines and accelerators at CERN. Moreover, in the field of medicine, and in particular in the hadron therapy treatment, the NanoRadMet sensors can be also considered as an option. Further fields of validation could be industrial and nuclear applications. To contact potential investors, the CERN Knowledge Transfer Group can bridge us with industrial investors and/or spin-off companies. About research partners, a direct contact can be done with radiation facilities that are interested in the product. Some of them, they have already expressed their interest. A list of possible interested investors can be found on the link. In turn, these partner facilities could advertise and distribute further the NanoRadMet sensor to their customers. Complementary funding sources are still needed to cover the cost for the substrate provider, the fabrication of the devices, and the DAQ system. A collaboration with a startup company could be also an option.
In this presentation, I will give a brief update on progress related to the GasRaman project. Aim of the project has been the development and realization of a compact, light, low-cost instrument using Raman spectroscopy for online monitoring of natural gas, methane mixtures, biogas, and biomethane composition. In the last months, we have made progress in two different directions: the test of the technique in a more severe environment and the extension of the technique to other sectors than energy. In the field of combustible gases, additional tests have been performed to demonstrate the applicability of the technique in a wide temperature range, from -20 degrees Celsius to +50 degrees Celsius. In particular, we have demonstrated that the 0.5% uncertainty in the measurement of the higher calorific value, already proven at ambient temperature, is maintained in the wide operating temperature interval of 70 degrees Celsius. In the field of agri-food and life sciences, we have proposed to apply the Raman technique also for combustion analysis. In particular, the instrument has been tested for the determination of carbon and nitrogen from combustion of organic samples, with possible applications to elemental analysis for agriculture, environmental, food and feed, and chemical. Results, although preliminary, show high sensitivity, linearity, and repeatability of the technique. If GasRaman were to be selected for Attract Phase 2, the present consortium is going to be enlarged to include at least 2 industrial partners. Regarding the application to energy distribution and monitoring, one of the partners should be preferentially active in the field of manufacturing equipment for oil and gas stream. Regarding the application to life science and agri-food, one of the partners should be preferentially active in the field of analytical instruments and laboratory equipment for chemistry and agri-food. Both partners have already been identified. They have a distribution chain internationally operated to increase the visibility of the application. Furthermore, one partner involved in local and national energy distribution services and one partner active in the agri-food sector can be involved to demonstrate the 2 application cases related respectively to energy distribution and life sciences. Such partners will be contacted for Phase 2. Regarding the applications that will prove the value of the technique for science, industry, and society, at present we envisage 2 possible fields. As from Attract Phase 1, the technique has been proposed with the main application to the accurate fuel gas value metering in smart energy networks. The tests that have been recently performed have also shown the capability of the same technique to be used in combustion analysis as an innovative detector with application to nitrogen protein elemental determination, with reduction of wastes and supplies compared to current industry standard determination methods in a simple and versatile instrument.
Lenses are everywhere in modern life. We have them in our reading glasses, in our cameras, in our front light of our cars, in microscopes, in medical equipment, in telescopes and satellites. No matter where you look, you'll find a lens if light is involved. At the UPM, we have developed a new kind of tunable thin lenses. The lenses are based on liquid crystal technology, which means you change the focus of the lens with the same ease as you change the image in any liquid crystal display. The lenses can be made in all sizes and focal ranges. In the ALL project, we have taken the UPM lenses and generated a fully functional lens system featuring a 25mm lens with a 4 diopter tuning range. The system has been published in a high prestige journal and has been used by the UPM and the consortium to attract general media attention through press releases and promotional video. Having a fully functional system as the one developed during the ALL project allows the consortium to present a fully working refocusable system for any OEM manufacturer. The consortium is still working on identifying the first end users and to provide a more smoothly changing focusing lens. The lenses have the potential of instant focusing non-wearable parts with a very large dynamic range. The application may be in any of the aforementioned uses wherever you need a lens to be refocused. So imagine in a few years' time you may buy your first truly multifocal spectacles.
Hello this is Samuel Ojosnegros from MyBec Barcelona, and please allow me to introduce you our progress report for our project HYSPLANT from October. So we have been analyzing data from the Attract phase 1, and we are really happy by the level of detail by which we can characterize the embryos by their metabolic profile. That includes the bias in the metabolic pathway that they use, or the quantification of glucose consumption or the mitochondria content in the embryo. Therefore, we are really confident that we reach the point where we should start climbing up the TRL ladder, and that's why we perform an FTO analysis, which came out very positive, and that also encouraged us to start designing in collaboration with M Squared the first industrial prototype. We have figured out the main layout and also the main optical components of this prototype, and we are now engaging in negotiations about how to design and manufacture this product with M Squared. The ultimate goal of our technology is to become an IVF diagnostic device, and in order to reach that point, we have decided to start a partnership with M Squared.
Hello, I'm Robert Forster. I'm the head of biophotonics at M Squared and a director of M Squared Life Limited. I set up the biophotonics business unit of M Squared in December 2015 with our CEO, Dr. Graham Malcolm. I would like to talk about the scalability of the M Squared business. Since we started out, we've scaled the business from a startup company to reach its first £1 million turnover 3 years faster than our parent company achieved in its growth journey. This gave us the confidence to spin out the biophotonics business unit in 2018 and create M Squared Life Limited within the M Squared group of companies. Our vision for M Squared Life is to grow at 40% per annum into a multi-million pound company through a combination of organic growth and strategic commercial partnerships, such as the one we are partnering on with IBEC. Our work with IBEC will now involve 3 important steps towards creating a proof of concept instrument. These are 1. A layout of the instrument design, and in particular the optical pathways. 2. Identification of suitable components for verification of their performance. And 3. The characterization of components' performance in an alpha instrument design before we confirm the final design of the proof of concept instrument with IBEC.
Due to the large experience of M Squared designing and manufacturing optical products that successfully reach the market, we think that they are the ideal partner for the second phase of the project.
We have a proven track record in taking projects from laboratories at TRL level 1 to 3 through an alpha instrument development program in various stages to beta prototypes and onto production instrumentation. We use an agile process to manage projects, from small laboratory tech transfer of hardware or software IP to large-scale multi-million pound projects such as the Tropomi spectral detector technology used in the Sentinel-5 satellite for the near-Earth observation of greenhouse gases, and in the oil and gas industry the detection of gases and chemicals, to very accurate timekeeping devices used in all of the G7's national standards laboratories for their atomic clocks. Whether you have a problem looking for a solution or want to develop a new piece of technology, we have the experience and manufacturing know-how to build cutting-edge systems to help solve real-world problems.
So these days we are assembling what will be our consortium, composed by IBEC and M Squared, but also by MOS Barcelona, a company of designers with a lot of experience in medical devices. The Shows Mujer, already present in Attract phase 1. We want to have at least 1 additional IVF clinics. We are in conversations with the IVF department of the University of Brussels. And we also want a company that can help us customize our optical plates. And we really believe that by bringing all this diverse group of people together, our strong consortium will be able to face the many challenges imposed by this project, ranging from the technical ones, the industrial ones, but also the clinical ones. Well, thank you very much for your attention.